Hi, welcome to OWAD. I'm Sophia, pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue our exploration in three-character Chinese expressions in November. And today we're going to talk about something related to everyday contemporary life now, because it's about cloud computing. And obviously, this is a concept that's within a decade, right? Young concept. And Chinese translate them with ease into 云计算. And it got incorporated into vocabulary so easily that because cloud computing as an English concept is easy, like accessible as well, even if we don't know much about it, but using cloud as if it's something you can send out to the air, that you save it on the cloud of internet instead of locally on that makes so much sense, right? So cloud computing, as Chinese 云计算, it's like ease translation into the understanding, the grasp of the concept. So 云, okay, it's a visual depiction of 云. Just look like cloud, isn't it? So there's two horizontal lines. One is ground, one is the visible limit. I guess sky is the limit. Okay, so we have the ground and the sky, and then there is this non-linear looking curvature thing attached, actually from the ground, right? Because if this is a sky, this is a ground, it looks like it's from the ground. I don't know if ancient people understand that cloud actually started, the journey of the cloud starts from the ground, and they rise up, and I mean it's evaporation gathering, right? So that's Chinese depiction. And the second way to view it, I guess, is to just view the two horizontal lines as something floating in the air that's visible, and then this is kind of the non-determinable, constantly changing shape of the thing. So we can either way view it as kind of an effort to abstract something that's kind of shapeless or it's hard to pin down thing. So this is a Chinese, best rendering of that, because that's the character that survived multiple centuries. Okay, 记. We have, I translate as a measure. It's kind of ancient record keeping, because to be able to compute, you have to first have the memory to know what you're computing, right? You have to store the information first. So information storage is the first step. And this is the one of the ancient information storage by roping. So this cross-looking thing has nothing to do with classification. It's the ancient roping record-keeping method. Whenever you tie a knot on the rope, that means number 10. And this horizontal line simply is an indicator that intersect with this rope. So vertical line is supposedly to be a rope, and intersect with that means there's a knot over there, because knot by itself, just physical rendering of the knot, it will be looking like this. It's hard to see. So make it obvious, a knot over there, that means number 10. So number 10 digit is the, I guess, the most relevant to our everyday life, right? When we are counting something or storing something, it's starting from single digit. And when we use up all 10 fingers, we tie a knot. That's number 10. As natural as that. So 10 as a record keeping, and then plus the speaking sign to the left. We talked about long-winded yesterday to unpack the speaking symbol two ways. I recommend you go back to yesterday's, check out that. But it can either view as a mouth and then the tongue symbol, that is the organ of speaking, plus the two horizontal sound bites. That's the result of speaking. So the whole mechanism of speaking laid out over there. Or it is ancient copper punishment tool. That's kind of two horizontal line, vertical line, and a convex shape, but that's sort of tool that can inflict pain on people, and that is a symbol for power imbalance. So somebody has the authority to inflict pain on somebody else. So that's power. And also we have this 10 generation symbol. So again, number 10, that's kind of transformed. So instead of having this intersecting indicator line in a stick, in a straight line, here is a convex shape. So this is number 10 again. Mao symbol means 10 generations together. Then 10 generations means time honored, and also this power structure that gives you the almost like a human speech preservation, like whose speech got to preserved is the ones who are in power and the ones whose thoughts are time honored that can survive 10 generations. All right, so that's speaking in two ways. Simplified, that's still pretty wordy. Okay, so speaking plus number 10 together, that means measure. So I guess in my concept, if you can speak about something, that's the first step of recognizing something, right? Verbally. And then you, from this verbal recognizing of something, and then convert it to record keeping, tying a knot, that there is this transaction of, from everyday life, you recognize, okay, so you keep counting, you keep talking, transacting, however the conversation happens in everyday life, and then you perm it into the record of roping. So that depicts that. Also, the speaking, kind of like a qualification. You're talking about something, but it's not exactly quantified. But number 10 is quantification. So qualification, quantification together is, I guess, two sides of our everyday life. And that's the Chinese way to say that's about measuring. Okay, so that's measure or information storage in a first place. I guess to be able to measure something, you have to set up a standard how to measure, right? You have to have the unit of measurement standardized. Everybody understand what you mean by 1 pound, right? And then you have this record keeping, and the whole practice of this verbalizing it and then making it into roping to keep record of it is, I guess, the main steps in this quantification of our everyday life. And therefore, it becomes like a distilled over time to mean measure, to have a exact quantification of things first, and then once things are quantified or digitized, right, in the computer age, or tokenized in the machine learning age, then you can do the calculation. So calculation is the next step. Calculation, Chinese created in an everyday setting as well. So we have the bamboo symbol on the top. Okay. Most Chinese plant growing symbol are this trident looking thing, the kind of looking like this, sun facing, growing anti-gravity. That's the plant symbol in Chinese. One, it's draping down. The leaves are draping down. That's a Chinese depiction of the bamboo leaves draping like that. So that's a material. That's something related to bamboo. Okay. Then the bottom have this box with two horizontal lines, and left and the right hand coming into the screen together. That is a Chinese, I guess, cooking or kitchen scene, because this is the pot in the middle. The two horizontal lines are the decorative message carved onto the pot. I guess ancient times, cookware was not industrialized like today, that they could just buy from Kohl's or somewhere. Ancient times, the cookware was customized, made for you with your ancestors. It's a family heirloom, and with your ancestors' message carved onto the side of the cookware. So whenever you're cooking, you're seeing the message. You're getting reinforced of the family lores or family core values in there. I mean, how pretty is that? I wish I had that. Okay, so this cookware, mostly cast bronze, Then have two hands, meaning two hands in preparation of food or in serving of the food. So why is calculation now? Because in ancient times, no refrigerator, right? And you have to cook to the exact amount of your household, everybody included, right? You need to feed just enough so that everybody eat their portion without leftover. So don't have to deal with refrigeration. There's no such solution yet back then. So this calculation that makes sure whatever ingredients you put in there end up producing the exact portions, the serving size to the ideal of your family size. That's quite some calculation. For me, I can hardly make it accurate like that. So the household, I guess the main cook back then, mostly wives, I guess, maybe men as well, whoever does the cooking, better be a very good calculator in their in the food processing. So input, produce just right amount of output. So that's the initial everyday practice of calculating. And then the bamboo came after, added on to this practice because ancient Chinese eventually find a way of kind of an ancient computer, because we don't have a calculator. Well, calculator, not computer. We don't have calculator back then. So how business say, how are you going to come up with a number quickly as you don't have calculator? So Chinese use abacus. It's a great invention. It has 5 beads at the bottom, that's single digits. And once it meets 5, there is a top 1 beat to mean number 5. And once you get 10 or counted, then you move to the next pole, kind of like a digit. When we're writing numbers, right? The single digits at the far right. And then once you get to the next, the tens, you are going to move to the left. Once one position in front of the single digit, right? That's our tens. So Chinese arrange the abacus in a similar way, have multiple poles. So that means different tens, hundreds, thousands, kind of like that. So, and then there is a whole skill of computing on the abacus, how you can do addition, you can do addition, deduct, subtraction, maybe multiplication, I don't know. There are set of like a shortcuts in between numbers so that you can compute quickly. So for people who are kind of business, they need to tally the numbers quickly, something like that. They use abacus. That's I guess eventual some smart people over history. We don't know the inventor of abacus, but that's everyday thing. So that bead and also the frame of the abacus was made, and the pools, right? The main material came from bamboo. That's everyday cheap material, durable enough to be used over the years, and it made this amazing bamboo sound, almost like raindrops on your bamboo rooftops, that while you're calculating, you audibly confirming that. It's kind of while you're tapping that, you have the sound on the tapping. So it's like that. While you're computing, while you're calculating, you have the sound, the bamboo clicking sound on the abacus. So that's Chinese practice of calculating. And abacus is the implied in here by the bamboo material. So cloud, measure it, store the information, and then run your calculation. That's Chinese cloud computing. I just put on this beautiful shot of the cloud, and it's really hard to capture this random shape. And yeah, I guess that's inspiring to all of us who are now using cloud computing. It's not only for the business, but for everyday people as well, like to store their information. At least we can use the storage, but some of us may do the random math over there over the cloud. All right, cashing into the currency of thinking about what are the ways with Sophie.